So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and this is the gameplay you have been waiting for. Zetsubou no Shima gameplay for you guys. And in this we're going to be looking at an overview of the map, so you know kind of what to do when you jump in, and you'll learn a little bit of the mechanics. And if you guys are hyped for this, then go down below in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on this, and smash that like button. That would be amazing. Now, as you see, I just picked up a bucket, and the zombie just dropped a weird drop, and this is actually a seed. So you can go over to an area, plant that seed, and then using the bucket you just picked up, you can water the plant. It's essentially like the pods from Shadows of Evil, where as you leave them and then you go and harvest them a few rounds later, there will be a nice little weapon for you to pick up, or potentially something a little bit worse like a zombie spawning or a grenade or something like that. But this is the biggest spawn room you will ever see in zombies. It's absolutely huge, and there's two different ways to open, just like with any normal zombies map. But something interesting happens on round 2 every single time, and if we look into the sky, we can see it's from two different perspectives. We have a plane that flies over, and on solo it seems to always drop quick revive in a location for you, but on co-op it seems to drop a random perk of choice. Normally this was Juggernog, but the perks in this map are random, unlike normal maps where they're always going to be in the same place. It seems this is like Nuketown, where the perks are dropped off every so often, and areas where there wasn't anything, you go a few rounds later, go back, and you'll find that there will actually be a perk machine sat there waiting for you. So this is normally where one of the two mystery box locations can be, and there's a very interesting thing in the middle there. We just picked up a skull. Going to be very useful for a secret weapon, a secret specialist ability, which we'll have a guide on for, linked down below in the description. But here we go, harvesting one of the plants, and out of it we just get the normal starting pistol, which isn't great, but every so often the zombies will drop these seeds where you can plant and harvest and get even more drops. And this is where I get one of the new weapons from the box, which is the HG40. Be happy to know you don't need to do anything special in order to get these weapons. You just need to spin the mystery box to get them. And of course, on round 4, weapon is very damn good, and it's not a bad weapon, especially going into the higher rounds. It's got a very good amount of ammo, so you'll be using this thing for a long time. So opening here, this is Lab B. This is one of the two huge lab areas which you'll get to know in this map, and in order to power this map you actually need to turn on some generators in each lab. So behind each lab you're going to find an area where there's element 115 water, and using the bucket you picked up, and you can find multiple buckets around the map, you need to fill up your bucket with element 115 water, go into these labs and actually power on their respective generators, which require water to actually power, which is pretty darn interesting. So there's two labs around the map, each need to be powered, and that will give you temporary power. Now here on round 4 we get our first boss zombie, and this thing is quite brutal. As you kill its spores and destroy it, it gets increasingly faster, going into a sort of berserker mode, and if you aren't careful, when you're actually downed and this guy runs near you, he will actually consume the player, which is really crazy. But this isn't the hardest boss in the world to take down, so it's pretty good, and on the earlier rounds it isn't as strong as it can be. Now opening to the middle here we have the bunker, which at the moment is shut, and above it had two little light indicators, one green and one red. That means one of the generators in the labs is active while the other one isn't. So this is the other side, this is the lab A section. Towards the back you'll find another element 115 pool, as well as a random perk, and all these perks at first are covered in webs because of the spiders, and holding square or X will slash those webs off for you in order to go and access those perks. So here is the second lab area here. It's a pretty similar layout to the first one, although we do have some gobblegum locations in here and some other interesting things which we should definitely look at. So here we have two green LEDs, both of the labs are now powered on, and that gives power to the bunker door, which allows it to be opened, and in there we have a few additional zombies waiting for us, as well as another Thrasher zombie, which is just awesome. It's just definitely what you want, but again, not too hard to take down. But inside here is where the magic happens. We have a perk location, gobblegums, and we have a series of doors which leads to some exciting stuff. In the middle of this room is the Pack-a-Punch, but at the moment it's submerged in water, and there's a little quest in order to get that fully unlocked. But here we go, the brand new dog round. These are the spiders, and they are just as creepy as you would imagine them to be. They're quite small and they scutter around a bit, and which makes them quite kind of finicky to actually find and kill. And these things can actually web off areas, so similar to how the perks were covered in webs. If there's enough spiders and you leave an area for a certain amount of time, the spiders will actually cast webs around barriers. So normal barricades that you open, they actually web up, so you can't physically leave the area unless you slash those webs down, which is really, really crazy. So opening up to the other side of the spawn now, we get to another area where, of course, a plane can fly over and drop a perk for us. And also, this is the awesome location where the plane crashes and we have this crazy trap. Right here, there's a huge spore on the wall, and it blew up, and then the zombie suddenly became the Thrasher boss, which I assume is how exactly these bosses are created. So if you see spores around the map, try and shoot them, because the bigger they grow and they blow up around zombies, that's how you will get those to become the boss zombie. So going in the bunker, we're going to open the furthest door here, which leads us to this awesome Division 9 testing area where we have a ton of test subjects in these weird tubes. It's very, very crazy. And down here we have a lot of interesting stuff, including a section where you can swim underwater to get to a pipe. We'll explain that a little bit further on into the gameplay. But we have another Thrasher zombie here, and I won't quite go into detail on exactly what we're doing here, but there's just a ton of zombies going on. So here is how you activate the power. This is where the power switch is located within the bunker itself, and there's a small little activity in order to get that access, so you can find out how to do that on my channel. And here is where I spin the box and get another brand new weapon in the set, which is the Marshall 16 pistols, which come dual wield as normal, and these things are quite strong. This is round 11 and they are a one-shot headshot, so these are pretty brutal. And I imagine if you combine this with double tap and speed cola, these things are going to be absolutely brutal, so a definitely good combination to have. Now, compared to Der Eisendrache, this map is a large map. This is much bigger than Der Eisendrache, and at first it can look quite deceiving because of just how big it is. It can be quite confusing, but don't worry, once you get the layout down of this map, it is quite simple. But this is a much larger map than Der Eisendrache, so come into that knowing this. Now here's one of the cool pipes which you can see, which allows you to traverse really quickly across the map rather than having to run around. You can just use those chutes, which look flipping mental, and takes us back to the Division 9 experimentation room. But yeah, this map is the sort of map where if someone goes down and you're on the complete other side of the map, there is a chance where you won't be able to revive them in time, just because of how large the area is. But another thing they've added in, which can be very useful for reviving people, is this area here, which is a docking area. But this contains a really cool feature, which is the zip line, which we've heard a lot about. This literally takes you from the dock straight over to Lab A near the spawn area, so it's a very quick method for traversing around the map really quick if you ever need it. And also the zombies get away from that sort of area very quick, so if you're trapped in the dock, you can just take the zip line and boom, you're good. So round 12 we've got kind of situated here, and we have spiders that spawn within the normal zombie rounds at this point, so you need to watch out for that. When they shoot webs at you directly, it does do a little bit of damage, and sometimes it can stun you where your gun is actually put away, just like how if you run into a spore, your character actually starts coughing as well, so you need to watch out for that. Hitting the mystery box again, I get the HG40 in a different game, and this just goes to show you the difference in the damage. We're now on round 12, and it's still a very good weapon. Like I mentioned, the ammo is incredible for this weapon, but it's not the most amazing weapon to have later on in the round. You definitely want to get it upgraded or put some double tap on it. Now here is a little bit of gameplay where it's another spider round, and I start messing around with some of the traps on the map and just having a load of fun. But let me know down below in the comment section, guys, what do you think of the looks of this map? Let me know what features you are most looking excited to seeing from this gameplay. And like I mentioned, I'm going to have a ton of videos on my channel of Zetsubou no Shima. It'll be all linked in a playlist link for you guys to check out, including helpful guides on getting the power on, getting all the secret weapons and the Easter eggs. It's going to be crazy, so make sure to check that down below in the description. But if you enjoyed and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But I'll leave you guys to enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Tastes like medicine a doctor would prescribe. That is not comforting thought. I will show no weakness.
The warrior spirit soars so high. He holds no fear of heights. Your weakness dishonors your allies. will succeed only in hastening your own death.